At a lively party, the power suddenly goes out, leaving everyone disappointed. Jonah and his friends look around and find his unpaid electricity bill. Stevie finds a final notice saying the power will be cut off. They realize Jonah is behind on payments. Jonah offers to sing to keep the party going, but Gus is still sad the night will end early. Jonah tries to cheer him up by asking their neighbor Silvio for some electricity. Outside, Gus and Stevie feel awkward as Jonah hugs Silvio to persuade him. Finally, Jonah comes back smiling. Silvio has agreed to share his power. Stevie and Gus thank Silvio, thinking it's free, but Silvio quickly corrects them. He tells them it will cost $500 and a bottle of liquor, as he and Jonah had agreed. Gus is upset and asks Jonah why the fee is so high. Jonah isn't worried because he plans to ask the guests for money to cover the cost. He quickly tells the group that donations are needed to keep the electricity on. Some people refuse, but most agree to give money to keep the party going. The next day, he visits the hospital, and Dr. Mackenzie finds a lump in his lower body and says it is cancerous. Seeing Jonah's concern, the doctor explains that the condition can be treated and expresses hope for a full recovery. The doctor suggests surgery to remove the lump and advises Jonah to consider freezing his sperm before the operation. That same day, Jonah goes to a fertility clinic where a technician gives him a container and explains how to collect a sample. Back home, Gus tells the others about Jonah's health, which makes Jonah feel upset. While talking, Jonah tells them his illness isn't deadly and can be treated. Stevie asks if they should cancel their next party because of this, but Jonah says no. Stevie and Gus don't understand why, so Jonah explains he doesn't want to talk about his condition with the guests. One day, while getting the house ready for the party, Jonah gets a sudden phone call. It's from the fertility clinic with news he wasn't sure he'd get. At the clinic, a technician tells him his sperm didn't survive the freezing process. This means freezing his sperm won't work. Still hopeful, Jonah asks if there are other choices. The technician suggests that Jonah try having a baby naturally with his girlfriend. The next day, Jonah visits his sister Claire to tell her about his illness. While she looks at a paper about their mother, who died from the same disease, Jonah keeps looking at his nephew. Claire notices he is distracted and brings him back to the moment. Feeling jealous that Claire has a child, Jonah leaves to call his ex-girlfriend to see if they can have a child together. At a nearby cafe, Jonah meets Ava, but there is still tension between them. She reminds him directly that they shouldn't be talking since they agreed not to contact each other for 6 months. Despite this, Jonah suddenly says he misses her and wants to try again. He also says he's thinking about starting a family with her, seeing it as his new goal. Ava laughs, surprised, and scolds him for having such ideas. She feels upset with Jonah, thinking he is cold and selfish. She believes others have been too kind to him after his mother died. Ava tells him she doesn't think he is a good person and can't be with him. The next day, Jonah asks Dr. Mackenzie to delay his surgery because he hasn't found a partner yet. The doctor warns that waiting might let his illness get worse. But Jonah insists on waiting 3 more weeks, saying that is the only time he is available. That evening, Stevie goes with Jonah to the train station to stop him from chasing after Becky. She doesn't approve of Becky, saying she has a serious problem with drugs and isn't fit to be a mother. Stevie also tells Jonah that there are other ways to have a child, like adoption. Still, Jonah visits Becky's home, hoping to have a biological child. When he arrives, Becky tries to get close to him, but Jonah asks to talk first. He tells her about his serious illness. During their talk, Becky cries because she knows Jonah might not be able to have children later. She believes he would be a great father. This makes Jonah hopeful, so he asks Becky if she wants to start a family with him since he only has 3 weeks left to have children. Becky feels happy for him but says no, explaining she doesn't see a future together. After coming home, Jonah feels more desperate. He starts checking his ex-girlfriend's social media to reach out to them. He's the only one who can still contact them there. Over the next few days, he meets with each of them, hoping to convince them to start a family with him. But all of them say no, thinking he isn't ready emotionally or financially to raise a child. One day, while Stevie is out with her co-worker David, she notices one of Jonah's exes has left him. Suddenly, Jonah shows up at their table, surprising her. He tells them he can't adopt a child because of his illness. Adoption agencies require parents to have a clean medical record. After explaining, Jonah leaves quickly, leaving an awkward feeling between Stevie and David. David suggests Stevie should go after Jonah, but she wants to keep their date. He insists when he sees Jonah sitting alone on the sidewalk. Later, at a bar, Stevie tells Jonah she wants to help him. She says many women at her work are not interested in having children, and she might know some who could be a good match for him. The next day, Gus criticizes Stevie for helping Jonah try to have a child. Stevie explains she feels she has no other choice. Gus thinks it's wrong and says they won't have any parties anymore. Later, at the couple's home, Jonah asks which of them will carry the baby, saying he wants to be with the more attractive one. The room goes quiet, and both women feel uncomfortable. Allison gently says that Jennifer is expected to be the birth mother, but then Allison says she wants to take that role because it has been her dream. Jonah clearly feels happier and favors Allison more, which makes Stevie feel awkward. Jennifer then asks Jonah why he wants to be a father. He simply says he just wants to. The couple looks doubtful. To prove himself, Jonah invites them to watch him babysit. When the day arrives, Stevie gets a call from them. Jonah hopes they will come, but Stevie sadly says they won't. Later, at the park, Stevie tries to convince Jonah to stop. She warns that his future children might feel upset or even leave him. But Jonah disagrees, sharing that his mother told him having children was the happiest time in her life. Even though he is unsure if he can do it, he wants to try and feel the same joy. Stevie stays quiet, thinking about it. When Jonah arrives at Claire's house, he tells Stevie to take care of his nephew because his hands are full. Even though Stevie isn't good with kids, she agrees. At first, she struggles to unbuckle the child's seatbelt, worried she might wake him. But she manages to carry him out of the car. Surprisingly, Claire's motherly side shows as the child cuddles close to her. The next day, Stevie talks with her coworker Marcy and encourages her to think about Jonah's offer. Marcy is interested because she wants a child and is thinking about using a donor since she's nearly 40. Curious, she asks what the plan would be like. Stevie explains that Jonah plans to be a fully involved father. She also tells Marcy that even if she has a child with Jonah, she can still date anyone she wants. That evening, in Stevie's office, she notices Marcy's child smiling at her, which makes her wish she had a baby too. Meanwhile, Jonah meets the woman who might carry his child at a bar. Even though she's not his usual type, he enjoys spending time with her. After a few drinks, they share a kiss, giving Jonah hope that things will work out. The next day, Marcy thanks Stevie for arranging the meeting with Jonah. She says she finds him attractive, but nothing happened because she doesn't know him well enough to rush into anything. After this, Stevie thinks about checking her own fertility, considering if she might help Jonah herself. At home, Jonah quickly asks Stevie if Marcy left any messages for him. Stevie is surprised and says Marcy never called. She then tells him that Marcy isn't interested in having a child with him. Jonah wonders if Marcy really wants to have a baby with him. Stevie gets annoyed and admits that Jonah once tried to sleep with her but failed because he was drunk. Hearing this, Stevie scolds him for acting carelessly and reminds him that he shouldn't treat her like just another person to sleep with. Feeling sorry, Jonah follows Stevie to apologize. He asks her to help him one more time with Marcy, since Marcy is his last chance. To convince Stevie, Jonah offers to give Marcy his house if she agrees to carry his child. Stevie asks if he is okay with that, and he says yes, but adds that he would be fine staying at home while Marcy works and brings her partners to the house. Jonah promises to put the house under both their names. Without thinking, Stevie says she doesn't need the house, hinting that she might want to be his partner. Jonah looks confused, but Stevie won't explain and asks him to leave her room. That evening, Jonah leaves a voice message for Stevie, saying he is ready to raise a child with her. The next morning, Stevie calls him to her room and hands him a paper with rules for their agreement. She worries the plan might fail, so she wants to keep it secret, even from Gus. This way, things can stay normal between them. The paper is long, and Jonah signs it without reading, which surprises Stevie. She tells him to ask questions if he has any, but he says he agrees with all her terms. Instead, he asks if she really wants this since she didn't want a child before. Stevie admits she agreed because of the benefits she will get. Feeling moved, Jonah closes the curtains, ready to be close with her. But Stevie stops him, reminding him the contract says they must use medical help to have the baby. That night, they go to a motel and stay in the same room for 4 days, matching Stevie's best days for getting pregnant. While trying, Jonah accidentally breaks the syringe, which upsets Stevie because it's very important. They rush to the nearest pharmacy, but it's almost closing. Stevie is upset they lost the first day, so Jonah suggests they get close to take their mind off it. Back at the motel, they try to be close, but feel awkward and don't go all the way. Stevie suggests they take it slow, and Jonah agrees. Soon, they grow closer and are surprised by how much they enjoy each other's company. Over the next 3 nights, their secret relationship grows stronger. One morning at work, Stevie is shocked to see she has her period. She quickly finds Jonah and tells him their time together didn't lead to pregnancy. Jonah feels upset because he hoped this time would work. Stevie tells him to go back to the motel, but he refuses. She asks him to look for another way, but Jonah says it's not possible with only 3 days left before his surgery. His words sound like he's blaming Stevie, which hurts her feelings. Not wanting to argue, she tells him to leave so she can get back to work. Jonah notices her anger and tells her she is lucky to still have time to have children. Angry, Stevie quickly leaves her car, but Jonah follows her. He won't leave. He reminds her that it was her idea to try having a child with him, which makes her even more frustrated. In anger, Stevie says she's glad they didn't get pregnant because it would have been a big mistake. Feeling sad, Jonah goes back home. Gus scolds him for being late and tells him Stevie won't come to their party that night. Jonah tries to call Stevie, but he ends the call quickly, worried Gus might find out about their secret. His friend tells him not to worry and promises to help him get ready for the party. That evening, Gus tells Jonah he invited Ava. When they meet, Ava hugs Jonah after hearing about his illness and understands his urgency to have a child. They talk upstairs, where Ava regrets her past harsh words, and Jonah admits she wasn't a good father. Ava sees he would be, recalling how he cares for his niece and nephew. Later, Jonah kisses his ex but pulls away, saying his heart belongs to someone else. Police sirens interrupt, and Jonah gets dressed, telling Ava to stay and apologize. In a crowd, he sees Stevie upset and apologizing. Ava emerges from his room, making Stevie think they've reconciled. Hurt, Stevie leaves. Jonah follows, but she drives off ignoring him. Jonah grabs Stevie's car but gets pulled along. She stops to help him. Jonah says he doesn't want a child anymore, just to be with her. Hurt, Stevie says she wants a child but not with him. At the hospital, Stevie arrives to see Jonah. Claire asks Gus to help with her son so Stevie and Jonah can talk. Stevie apologizes, and Jonah agrees she was right. He tells her to have a child with someone who respects her. Gus returns, says the operation will start soon, and hugs Jonah. He overhears Stevie and Jonah talking. Stevie asks if Jonah wants to be with her. He says yes, and she suggests finding a donor. They kiss. Gus, unaware of their relationship, quietly swears in surprise.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay connected with us.